we are going to discuss CPU and IO burst cycle. You are aware of CPU, that is our processor. You are aware of IO, input output operation. But first, before understanding what do you mean by cycle, we will first understand the term burst. First, we will understand what is CPU burst, IO burst, and then we will proceed to understanding how this CPU and IO burst cycle works. So let us first understand what is CPU burst. Burst means what? It is nothing but it is the interval of time a process is being executed in the CPU. Now what actually happens is that suppose a process is there. So mainly what happens is that either it is being executed by CPU, or say suppose for some reason it requires input output operation, so it will be in the waiting state, right? So CPU burst means how much time, whatever time the during which the process is being executed in the CPU is called as CPU burst. And what will be the IO burst? IO burst will be nothing but interval of time a process spends doing a single input output operation, and during this time when the process is busy doing IO operation, CPU is waiting. So here CPU is working on the process, and in the IO burst what is happening? CPU is in the waiting time, isn't it? So burst means what? Interval of time. So CPU burst, it is the interval of time a process is being executed in the CPU. IO burst means what? It is the interval of time a process spends doing a single input output operation, and during this time CPU is waiting till the IO completes itself. So this is the definition of CPU burst and IO burst. Now next we will try to understand what is CPU bound process and what is IO bound process. You know that the scheduler, long-term scheduler, has to put a mix of CPU bound process and IO bound process in the queue. And the reason is that how will you say those processes are CPU bound? Suppose if a process has large number of CPU burst cycle and it is having less IO burst cycle, then it is called as CPU bound process. And since this is regarding the CPU, obviously the response time will be fast and waiting time, turnaround time will be less. Means what is happening? The CPU burst will be more, IO burst will be less, and that is why the CPU will keep on executing the processes and the response time will be very fast. But if you look at the IO bound process, what will happen? Process will have large number of IO burst cycle and less CPU burst cycle, and that is why what is going to happen? CPU will be in waiting state more, and that is why response time will be very slow, and the waiting time, turnaround time will also be more. So for a good response system, we require that there should be a good mix of CPU bound processes and IO bound processes. So we have seen the definition of CPU burst, we have seen definition of IO burst, and we have also discussed what is CPU bound process, what is IO bound process. Now next we are going to first understand how this CPU burst and IO burst are executed. So for that I am going to show you one diagram. Now see here, consider CPU burst. Just now we have seen definition. It is the interval of time during which process is being executed in the CPU. So usually what happens is that suppose say CPU burst takes place initially. So after that maybe the process requires some input output operation. So then it will go to IO burst. IO burst means what? The process is busy doing a single input output operation, and during this time the CPU, what it is doing? CPU is waiting. In the CPU burst, the CPU is executing, and in IO burst CPU is waiting. So in this way, what is going to happen? There may be certain sequence of CPU IO burst like this. But always remember, at the end of every this particular cycle, there will be CPU burst. This will be always be the last operation. Why? Because microprocessor has to end the process. So this is in a way how the sequence of CPU burst and IO burst takes place. Now I'll show you one example of this CPU and IO burst. But first, let us once again revise what I have discussed. See, process execution is a cycle of CPU execution and the IO operation. Then process execution begins with CPU burst. This is first. Then followed by IO burst, and this particular sequence goes on. And the last is the CPU burst. Means in between the sequence will vary with every process, but last the CPU burst will take place. Now based on this, let us take one example. So here, say suppose CPU and IO burst cycle example is there. Now this one particular instructions I have written here. So these are the instructions given to the microprocessor. So this is nothing but our CPU burst. Now after executing these instructions, say suppose it requires some input output. So the process will go into the waiting state. So that will be known as the IO burst. Then next what will happen? This second set of instructions are given to the microprocessor. Again CPU burst will take place. Now after this, maybe again it will require some input output operation. So that will be the waiting. So here again IO burst will take place. Then again here, say suppose third time I am giving some instructions to the microprocessor. So at that time CPU will execute these instructions. So that will be termed as CPU burst. Now then again, say suppose it may undergo input output operation. So in that period the CPU will go to the waiting state. So this is one particular alternate sequence of CPU and IO burst. So this is one typical example. Normally it may not be alternate like this. Now say suppose this may be first instruction, this may be second, then the particular process may require wait. So in this way means it will depend on that particular process.